Well, hi, Cancer. Let me tell you something that happened recently that I cannot stop thinking about. I was sitting quietly, just still, not doing anything in particular, and this energy came through so suddenly, so forcefully that it genuinely startled me. Not a gentle nudge, not a soft whisper, a hit like something urgent needed to be delivered and it had been waiting too long already and it was done being patient about it. And the energy had a face, not literally, but it had a direction. It was pointed at someone specific, someone who has been through something, someone who was told directly or indirectly, loudly or in the subtle, devastating language of being underestimated, that they weren't going to make it, that their dreams were too large for their reality, that the vision they carried for their own life was somehow delusional, naive, embarrassing in its ambition, that someone is you. And what came through for you in that moment was so specific, so layered, so completely electric in its certainty that I knew immediately I had to make this today. Not tomorrow, not when it was more convenient, today. Because you need to hear this now while you're still in it, while the doubt is still fresh enough that what I'm about to tell you can actually change the trajectory of how you carry yourself through the next chapter. So sit with this, really sit with it, because what's coming for you is not a small thing. It is not a modest improvement. It is not a quiet little win that only you will notice. It is a statement, a loud, undeniable, impossible to ignore statement. And the people who doubted you are going to hear it whether they want to or not. I want to start with the money because it's coming through first. And it's coming through with a force that I'm not going to diminish by dancing around it. There is a significant sum of money moving toward your life. And when I say significant, I am not speaking in vague spiritual terms. I'm speaking about a material, real, life changing amount of money that is in the process of being directed toward you right now through channels that may not yet be fully visible, but are absolutely already in motion. The figure that keeps coming through when I sit in this energy is substantial, 500,000. That number keeps presenting itself with a consistency that I can't dismiss or soften. Now, I want to be clear about how I'm reading this because it's important. For some of you, this arrives as a single event, a deal, an inheritance, a settlement, a business outcome, a windfall from a direction you did not fully anticipate. For others, this is cumulative, the building and compounding of income streams over a period of time that reaches this level and then exceeds it. For others still, it arrives in the form of an asset, a property, an investment, something that represents this value, even if it doesn't arrive as cash in a single moment. But the energy of this number is real and it's yours. And the reason I'm telling you with this level of directness is because I think you need to hear a specific, concrete, audacious number spoken over your life. Because the people who doubted you certainly weren't shy about speaking. They're specific, concrete, audacious doubts. So let me be just as loud in the other direction. 500,000 coming for you already in motion. But before I go further into the financial piece, I need to address the other half of this reading because it's equally important. And honestly, it's the part that moved me most when it came through the person who doubted you. I'm going to talk about them carefully. Not with hatred, not with the kind of low vibration energy that would actually slow down what's coming for you, but with honesty. Because what happened deserves to be acknowledged clearly before we talk about what happens next. Someone looked at you and made a decision, a conscious or unconscious decision that you were not enough, not capable enough, not talented enough, not connected enough, not smart enough, not whatever enough. And they expressed that decision maybe in words, direct cutting, specific words that you have never fully forgotten, even if you've tried to. Words that installed themselves in a corner of your mind and have been quietly playing on a loop ever since, whether you're aware of them or not. Or maybe it wasn't words, maybe it was actions. The opportunity not offered, the support withheld, the promotion given to someone else, the loan not made, the belief not extended, the simple basic human courtesy of being taken seriously, denied, or maybe it was even subtler than that. The eye roll, the dismissive tone, the way they talked about your plans in front of other people, the way they laughed not with you at the audacity of you daring to want what you want. I'm feeling all of these variations in the energy around this reading, and what they share, regardless of their specific form, is the impact. The way being doubted by someone who mattered or someone with power over your circumstances lands in the body. The way it makes you question yourself even when you're trying not to. The way it gets under your skin and sits there. I want you to know something about that experience, about what it actually did to you, not just the harm. The other thing, it made you hungry. And I don't mean that metaphorically, I mean it in the most real and specific sense. That doubt, that dismissal, that moment or series of moments where someone looked at you and communicated through their words or actions that your ceiling was low, it ignited something. Maybe it felt like anger at first, maybe it felt like shame, maybe it oscillated between the two, but underneath both of those feelings was something else, something that doesn't go away, something that actually grows stronger the more it's challenged. A drive, a determination, a refusal, a quiet, steely, completely unshakable refusal to become the version of you that they decided you were. And that refusal has been fuel, real fuel, the kind that burns clean and long and doesn't run out. Every day you kept going despite the doubt was a day you added to the fire. Every time you chose your vision over their verdict was a deposit into something that has been building, gathering, accumulating with a momentum that is about to become impossible to miss. I'm picking up that you haven't always felt this. There have been days when the doubt felt louder than the drive. Days when their voice in your head was stronger than your own. Days when you wondered if maybe they were right, if maybe the ceiling they assigned you was actually accurate, but you kept going anyway. Even on those days, even when you weren't sure, you kept going. And that is everything. That is literally everything. Now, I want to talk about what's happening with this person right now, because this is the part the energy brought me to first. And it's the part I need to be careful about because there's a right way and a wrong way to receive what I'm about to say. This person is becoming aware of what they missed, of what they dismissed, of the magnitude of their error in judgment about you. And I'm picking up that this awareness is not comfortable for them, not at all. For some of you, this person has already begun to see the early signs of your rise. The trajectory of where you're headed is becoming visible, undeniable, and the dawning recognition of what they doubted, what they didn't invest in, what they pushed away or looked down on is creating an internal experience in them that I can only describe as the specific misery of being completely provably wrong about something that mattered. And here is what I want to say about that very carefully. Your job is not to gloat. Your job is not to perform your success for their benefit. Your job is not to make sure they see and suffer, because the moment you make your success about them even slightly, you hand them a power over your energy that they no longer deserve to have. Your success is not for them. It was never for them. It is for you. For the version of you that kept going when they said, don't bother. For the vision you refused to abandon when they tried to take it from you. For every quiet moment of persistence that nobody witnessed, that's who the success belongs to. Let them witness it as a byproduct, not as the purpose. I'm picking up something very specific now, and I want to give it to you because it's coming through with a clarity that feels important. There is a moment approaching, a specific moment where you and this person, or you and the knowledge of this person's awareness of your success, are going to exist in the same space, energetically or literally. And in that moment, something is going to happen inside you that you might not expect. You might not feel triumph, or at least not only triumph. What I'm picking up is something more complex, something more evolved than simple vindication, a kind of peace, a settling, a recognition that their opinion of you never actually defined you, even when it felt like it did, that you were always more than their assessment, that the distance between what they believed you capable of and what you actually are was always a reflection of their limitations, not yours. And there may even be for some of you a compassion, not the forced performed kind, the real kind that comes when you've achieved enough security in yourself that someone else's smallness no longer threatens you. The kind that allows you to look at someone who doubted you and understand that their doubt said everything about their capacity to see and nothing, absolutely nothing about your capacity to become. That moment of peace, of settled, quiet confidence in the face of being proven right is worth more than any amount of visible triumph. And it's coming for you. Let me go back to the money now because there are layers to this financial energy that I haven't fully unpacked yet, and I want to make sure I give you the complete picture. I'm feeling multiple sources. And that's significant because it speaks to a restructuring of how abundance flows into your life rather than a single event that could theoretically be temporary. What I'm picking up feels like the beginning of a new financial ecosystem around you. Multiple entry points, multiple streams, the kind of financial architecture that doesn't depend on any single source and therefore carries a resilience and a staying power that single source income never can. For some of you, this involves a business, something you've been building or something you're about to start building. And I'm feeling that this business, this venture, this thing you're creating carries something in it that the market actually needs, not just wants, needs. There's a gap that it fills, a problem that it solves, and the people who need what you're offering are more numerous than you currently imagine. The doubt person, interestingly, is connected to this for many of you because what they doubted was often specifically this: the business idea, the entrepreneurial vision, the unconventional path. They told you it was too risky, unrealistic, that you should do something safer, more conventional, more predictable, and the money that's coming is going to arrive as the definitive answer to that specific doubt. Not in a way you need to announce. The numbers will announce it themselves. I want to take a moment to talk about timing because I know it's on your mind. The energy I'm feeling around this financial shift is not a 5 years from now energy. It's not a distant horizon. What I'm picking up feels much closer than that. There's an immediacy to it, an urgency, like the pieces are already in place, and what's required now is not more preparation, but more willingness, more openness, more capacity to actually receive what's already being sent. Which brings me to something I need to address directly. Your capacity to receive abundance has been compressed by the experience of being doubted. When someone tells you explicitly or implicitly that you don't deserve big things, that you're not the kind of person that big things happen to, that belief can install itself so deeply that even when abundance arrives, even when the evidence contradicts the doubt, some part of you finds ways to minimize it, deflect it, give it away, or otherwise avoid fully taking it in. Watch for this. Watch for the ways your own internalized doubt tries to interfere with your receiving. Watch for the impulse to explain away the good things, to attribute them to luck rather than to your own capacity and effort and alignment, to shrink the significance of what arrives. Because somewhere inside you, there's still a voice that sounds uncomfortably like the person who doubted you, saying, "This can't really be for me. It is for you." It is completely and entirely for you, and you are allowed to receive it fully, to stand in it, to own it, without apology and without qualification. There's one more thing coming through that I haven't addressed yet, and I feel it needs its own space because it's deeply personal. The doubting didn't only come from outside, you did it. At some point, their voice became your voice. At some point, the external doubt crossed the threshold and became internal. And the version of you that doubts yourself, that sets arbitrary limits, that pulls back right before the breakthrough, that talks yourself out of your best ideas, that version learned its lines from someone else, from the person or people who communicated that you were less than you are. The real victory that's coming is not just financial, not just material. The real victory is the silencing of that internal voice, the replacement of their doubt with your own evidence. The moment you look at what you've built, what you've accumulated, what you've created and become, and the internal voice finally goes quiet because there is simply too much proof for it to maintain its case. That silencing is coming, that internal peace is coming alongside the 500,000. alongside the new chapter, alongside everything that is already moving toward you. And when it all arrives simultaneously, when the external abundance and the internal quiet land in your life at the same time, you are going to experience something that I genuinely believe you have never felt before. The complete, unobstructed, full body experience of knowing that you were right about yourself all along. Let me close with this because it's the truest thing I can offer you today. Every person who was ever doubted and then proved right had something in common. Not talent, though many had that. Not connections, though some had those. Not perfect circumstances or ideal timing or lucky breaks. What they had was the refusal to let someone else's story about them become their story about themselves. You have that refusal. I feel it in you even now. Even underneath the weight of everything you've been carrying, even underneath the quiet damage that being doubted by the wrong person at the wrong time can do. Underneath all of it, there is something in you that has always known, has always quietly, stubbornly, unshakably known that you were built for more than they could see. And you were right. The 500,000 is on its way. The person who doubted you is already beginning to understand the magnitude of their mistake, and you are just getting started.